Welcome to the Monday noon social media live. I am so excited to be here. I am going to open up these chats and see what's going on. And I'm looking forward to seeing you, connecting with you throughout this live. I have a beautiful topic prepared for you today. So exciting. So, welcome to the social media live. I'm talking about a beautiful topic today. As I begin, remember to say hello when you come in so that I can respond to you, put in any questions that you have. And if you have a topic that you would like to hear about instead of what I'm talking about, put that in and I will go on live and speak about your topic as well. So today's topic is very interesting and it is called love versus transactions. Are you loving or are you just keeping score? Which one is it? Sometimes we think that we're loving. Sometimes we think we're doing everything in our power to love. But even when we think we are doing everything in our power to love, we are many times just having transactions. And this live is going to make it clear for you the difference between true love and transactional love. And it is going to tell you how unmet emotional needs turn gorgeous relationships into constant scorekeeping battles. This is not intentional. Nobody wants this. And yet, this can occur. And as you listen, you will see how you can make sure that you don't fall a minion to this type of behavior. What we have today is a mindset shift that frees you from resentment and disappointment in love to freedom, to clarity, to peace, to connection, and to an experience of feeling whole. One powerful practice is going to be given to you to shift from this giving mentality that then you have to balance and make up and it doesn't feel good to you or anybody else to receiving. And it allows you to open up a relationship where you're giving from fullness, where when you give, you're giving connected to such a place inside you that that type of giving just increases you in what you are doing. So welcome once again. Put your things in the chat. I'm right here and let's go. So have you ever felt like love is starting to feel more like a transaction where you constantly keep score of who's doing what? You know, the truth is that most people don't even realize that we're loving from a place of transaction instead of connection. Today, we're going to uncover the difference and shift you into a love that actually feels good. Hello. Okay. So I have three main points to go over with you. The first thing I'd like to do is I'd love to make it very clear the difference between loving from a transaction and loving from love that is coming from a different place. So let me first clarify what a transaction is. It sounds very simple. Transaction sounds like just what it is, doing something for someone and then expecting something in return. Obviously, most of us don't need me to come on live and tell you that that's really not a great idea because you just don't know whether people are going to do what they say that they will. But there is a hidden, insidious carbon monoxide type, silent but deadly form of transactions that can really go missed. And unless you know this hidden secret transaction that we do, it can keep running your life and you're going to call it fate. So, the hidden part of a transaction, the one that isn't commonly seen, that I didn't really see it in my relationships either, is that if I do this for you, you're going to be happy. The basic one, the one that that's not hidden, is that if I do this for you, maybe you'll take care of me and put me in diapers when I'm older, when I'm an elderly. If I do this for you, maybe you'll love me too. That's the basic transaction. That's the one that we're used to. When we say transaction, we know right away that you scratch my back, I'll scratch yours. That's a simple scorekeeping. But I'm right now talking about something different and deeper and more insidious and more secret. And because it's a silent killer, it can be a death by paper cuts and it can cut you when you don't even know. So the one I'm talking about sounds more like this. If I do this for you, you're going to be happy. If I do this for you, you'll love me. No, well, that's the other one. If I do this for you, you will love yourself. You wouldn't want to hurt yourself. If I do this for you, you will get rid of your addiction. If I do this for you, you won't cheat on me. If I do this for you, you wouldn't want to kill yourself or me. If I do this for you, you will become successful. If I do this for you, you will appreciate yourself more. You can't know that. If you think about it, you're literally being so altruistic. You don't even need anything back from this person. But what you are looking for is for that person to take that goodwill that you're doing. That's probably hard for you to do, but you're doing it anyway because you're hoping that what you are doing is going to deem something. These types of interactions, these types of lovings take a lot from us because sometimes we really just don't want to do it and we do it anyway because we love this person. And our reward is, you know what? My person is going to be better for it. And here's the reality that I'm going to tell you about. That's an existential reality. I don't want this to be real either. But you know what? Nobody asked me, and it is real. And the reality is, you just don't know. You just don't know what another person will do. The only thing you have control over is yourself. And you can take charge of what you do. You can become immaculate about what you do, but you cannot know what another person does with what you give them. And to do something beautiful, to put yourself in some type of a harm's way just to make that happen is literally compromising yourself. It's setting yourself up for failure. It's setting yourself up for hurt that later on you're going to regret. So you don't want to do that. You don't want to do that. So I have a story. Let me tell you a story. I have a story of a couple who came to my office. They were parents of a contemporary, a therapist. Another therapist sent me these their parents because I do this technique called discernment counseling, where people, before they actually finalize their divorce or go for the divorce, they come in for a maximum of 5 sessions, and it's a time. It's not therapy. It is a time to discern whether the relationship has anything in it worth saving, whether they want to leave things as they are. Three things: whether they want to go for a separation and divorce and have agreements there so it can be a much more compassionate one. And number three, go for 6 months of therapy with an all-out effort. So they come in and they're explaining everything. Very elegant couple. The wife starts to explain why she no longer wants to be in the marriage. And as she going through her things, one of the things that she says is that she says, and when we were younger, you wanted me to leave my teaching job. You wanted to leave my professorship. And she's saying that, she's expressing this, I have the vantage point where I can see him as well. And I can see him right away that he's like he's real confused. So he waits for her to finish and he says, I do know that you left your teaching job, but I never asked you to do that. But she's not crazy. She brings up 1, 2, 3, 4 micro moments in their lives where she gathered that he would prefer that if I stay at home. And he says, I can't deny those moments. Those moments did happen, but we never made an agreement. I thought you did it because you decided you wanted to. And she said, yes, I did present it like that because I wanted it to be gentle. And I wanted, now this part I'm making up in their lives. This didn't really happen. But imagine that she really wanted the job, but she did what we will call now a secret sacrifice. Anything that you do, any sacrifice that you do, anything that is a compromise without an agreement, any compromise without an agreement is a secret sacrifice. Any compromise that you do not have under an agreement where the other person sat there and they said, no, I don't need this. It goes into secret sacrifice. It goes into the resentment box. It's coming out later. It's going to blow up. It's like landmines you plant in your relationship and you get surprised when you step on them and they blow up. They blow up randomly. Even you're surprised. Even other people are surprised. Many people get hurt. You don't know who's going to get hurt. So you don't want to do that. So imagine this couple when they were younger that he comes home and he's just moving the glass from here to there and she's getting upset about it. And he doesn't get it. He doesn't get why she's upset. Because while she's doing her daily task, what sits on her like a burden, like a ghost, like a big energy suck is the fact that this man went to work and he got what he wanted, but I have capability and I just stayed at home and I took care of kids and I don't feel purposeful and I don't feel fulfilled and I don't feel fully expressed. This is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm not. It is my response. Come on, guys. It is my responsibility to know what I want. It is my responsibility to make sure that the people who claim that they care for me and they're in my inner circle, that I allow entry into my inner circle, that those people are in fact informed what I want. And before I go ahead and start to sacrifice and eat up pieces of my life that I have an agreement. Now, remember this, an agreement is a conversation in which you are able to hear a no. If you're going to ask for an agreement, and as you come to the agreement, you can't say hear a no. I've done this in my past. I've said, oh, you know what? This person doesn't keep an agreement. And then when I really looked, they weren't agreements. They were gun to your head. They were dictums. They were like, if you don't do this, I'll leave you. They were presented in a way that I knew that a person can't say no. So you don't want that. So the difference between a transaction and a true love is simple. A transaction comes from anxiety that if I don't do this, this person will get hurt. This person will. It comes from the solicitation of our ego, from our fear. It comes from this need for over responsibility. It comes from a compensation of something that we don't think we have. It doesn't come from clarity. It comes from this compulsion. It comes from making ourselves do things. Whereas it could be that you do the same thing. You may not have to change what you do. But shifting from a transaction to doing something for someone while connected to love depends on where you are doing it from. Are you doing it from the fear and compensation, or are you doing it from connection to yourself that gives you the inner awareness that when I do this, it is an expression of who I am, and this is what I want. I want to do this. It is my desire. So when you do it because you want to do it, even though you're doing it for somebody else, it's augmenting you, it's increasing you, it is reinforcing you in what you feel and experience inside yourself as who you are. It's an expression of you. It doesn't decrease you. Why is this part so important? This part is important. It is important because many times what we do for other people is not going to be appreciated. And if it is not appreciated, it's okay because you are still coming out a winner. How? Because you got to connect to a part of yourself that is the greatest, clearest expression of who you are and you got to express yourself by doing what you wanted to do. So, what you did for another person is really for you. You don't need anything back because you already got it right when you did it. So I remember I was explaining to my mom this thing, and she said to me that when I make this food, I am not happy unless the people that I made this food for are happy, that they like the food. And I was my what I was saying to her is, Mom, if you are doing this for because you love to, and you're telling me that you do, then the minute you are done making the food, you're done. Now, if you make the food and somebody complains about it and you get upset about it, then actually you didn't do it because you love to do it. You did it because you wanted them to feel something. And if I want to be very clear, I have done this like 100 times. I know to teach this because it's come through my own experience of how I have lived and suffered in love, thinking it's love, but it wasn't love. When we do that, guys, that's manipulation. Think about that for 1 second. It's manipulation. I want to make you think and feel what you want to feel. What are you talking about? The only person you have control over is you. Go ahead and make yourself feel what you want to feel, but you don't have agency. You don't have command. And when you start to take command over making other people feel what you want them to feel, and then getting upset with them when they don't feel that, come on, guys, that is manipulation. And it's a cycle of guilt that you want to get out of. You don't want to get into. The mind shift that I'm proposing to you is that instead of breeding resentment and disappointment, instead of when you have a transaction, just going for it impulsively, to pause. It's really important to pause. The pause is the thing that gives you a chance to shift from what you've always been doing to what you want to do. So instead of just going for a default that, there's a compulsion, it's coming from fear and urgency, do it. Pause and then ask yourself, am I going to feel like a victim later? If I do this for them, am I going to feel like a victim later? You can ask yourself, where am I doing it from? What if they don't change? Am I going to be okay? If you just take the time to ask those questions and align with yourself, if you take consent from yourself, I deliberately use that word because it's the word used for sex. And sex can be gorgeous connection between two people, and it can be rape. If you just pause to take consent from yourself, you're going to take the same act that you were going to do anyway. From the possibility of putting landmines in of resentment and disappointment and upset to something that allows you to live into a deeper expression of what you feel inside that you are. The one powerful practice shift that I'm offering to you today is to pause and ask yourself these questions. Am I going to feel like a victim later if I do this? Am I going to be okay if this person doesn't do what I think they might do if I do this for them? Am I doing it for me, or am I doing it to secretly get a reaction out of someone? Secretly, in other clear language, control them. Okay, I hope this was helpful. I hope that this opened your eyes to something in your relationship. Let me know in the comments how you are taking this, how are you going to bring it into your life, and if you have any questions, and if you're ready to experience love from a place of wholeness instead of transaction, DM me the word love, and let's talk about how I can help you. I have a podcast that you can sign up for. It is called the Love Clarity Podcast that plays every Wednesday, a new episode. You can put in the comments what you want to hear about, and I will. I have a gorgeous newsletter. They're private letters that I write to people to stay connected to everything that's going on, and for insights that are therapy level insights that go out every weekend. And you can sign up for the list. And we have the School for the Wise Loving Tribe, where you can come and be a part of a tribe of people who refuse to take the ordinary love that they see outside themselves as what they want. They want extraordinary. They want to feel connected in their love. And of course, we have our deeper program, the School for Transformational Healing, where people come to transform and shift and change the trajectory of their lives forever and learn to do for themselves that a therapist or a coach would do for them. So much love to you. Thank you for listening. Tune in next Monday at noon Eastern Time. I'm going to be here. Take care and goodbye.